Heyo, good evening and welcome to OmniBros Live. I'm OmniDog along with my good friend Omar. Omar, how's it going?
It's going good, man. I'm glad to be back in the States. Good to be on the show again. Feels like I was gone for a couple weeks because I was.
Yeah, you
I was
were.
gone for a couple weeks, yeah, but now I'm back. So it feels
You
good to be
did make
back.
a you made a famous cameo appearance though that everybody's talking about.
Yeah. So that funny story. I
I
was
bet.
drunk that night, and I'm like, oh, let's see if I had enough Wi-Fi on my phone. I'm like, oh, cool, or enough of wherever the hell I was, and that was in Estella, where it's like it's the Basque part of Spain where my Spanish did dick. Like it was, I didn't speak Basque, but anyway, I remember the first time I did it. I don't remember the second time. So when you guys were talking about it later on, I'm like, what? Why did I try to go back in there again? What a douchebag!
You don't remember the second time?
No, I
You
remember the first time. I remember like, oh, I'm gonna say hi, it'd be great, and then like the second time, nope, I don't remember that at all.
you
So,
do you even
so
know who those guys were you were partying with?
one of those guys, yes, but the rest of them I just met that night.
How did you know the guy you were partying with in Basque, Spain?
I had met him over there.
Oh,
Yeah. My family decided to stay in, and I'm like, I'm gonna go out. So I had met him like a couple of nights before then. But he speaks Spanish, so it was all good, man. It was a lot of fun. Went comic book shopping and got a couple things like the Torpedo collection, which for some reason has not been printed in America. The Omnibus. I don't know
ooh,
why.
you got that in omnibus format.
Yeah, it's the complete collection, which sucks because IDW has been cock teasing us for like 5 years that they were going to release it, and finally they've pulled it out of Amazon. So I'm assuming it's no longer coming. So I just went, I can read and speak Spanish, so I just got the Spanish edition, the original edition. But the story takes place in New York. I don't understand why this won't sell here, but whatever. And a couple of other things like a manga that you don't like, so
I didn't say I didn't like it. I just said it's not for me.
not for you. Okay, but yeah. But a lot of fun, man. A lot of fun. So yes, I am glad to be back.
Well, everybody's glad to have you back, especially the folks at InStockTrades.com.
I did make a big purchase yesterday, so yes, I'm sure they're glad.
Yeah, I think a lot of people made purchases this week. This was a
Oh,
big
absolutely. This
week
is a
for
big
In
week.
Stock Trades and us.
Yes.
And we got our books up to 50% off. Loyalty discounts add 2 to 3% to that. And coming soon, the Omnibroslide discount, which will be even more than that, over $50 in the United States, gets you free shipping, fabulous customer service, fabulous packaging. That's InStockTrades.com.
Good deal. Good deal, man.
I did it.
You did it. So today we decided to in with the big controversy that was going on with Batman 50, Jess and I decided to talk about comic book couples and which ones are still around. We're not gonna. Are we gonna spoil Batman 50 like the New York Times and Bleeding Cool and all these other websites have?
We
Or
don't have to. I mean, we can talk. I mean, I read it today. I got it on Comixology and read it today just so I could know what we were talking about.
Mhm.
But we don't have to spoil it. We don't even have to talk about it. We can just say it was the wedding issue. And so that brought up the idea of couples in comics. But if we're not going to talk about it, we should ask the chat not to spoil it for people who haven't read it yet either then.
Yeah, absolutely not. Yeah. Other than it was a big story that everybody was looking forward to. Mainly, I think a lot of the anger is probably geared towards the DC marketing, the way they market it, like making all these variant covers and one shots, and hell, they even had like a music playlist for the wedding.
Where was the playlist? I saw you refer to that.
Oh, where did I see that? It was on somebody's Twitter or somebody's Facebook. They had asked all the people that had worked on the comic book to share like a song to put in the wedding playlist, like Tony Daniel, Colleen, uh, Jolene, the artist.
Jones,
Yes,
Joel Jones.
Joel Jones. Thank you, and then a couple of the writers to put in like a song or two. So I was happy with some of the choices. But anyway, it was interesting to see where they went. Um, So I feel like probably a lot of the anger goes towards the marketing team at DC for doing it a certain
Mm.
way.
I read it and didn't have a problem with the issue. I loved how the issue was laid out with the story continuing to be told through even through pinups. They had pinups of everybody. This isn't a spoiler because this is just how the comic was put together. But pinups by famous artists. But it wasn't just pinups. It continued the story through the pinups. There'd be regular story, pinup continuing the story, regular story, pinup continuing the story. I thought that was really cool structure.
Yeah, I did too. I liked it, and I really, really liked the ending, which I'm not gonna say anything because even though Iron Cardinal said, "Ah, it's DC, fuck it, spoil it." I'm sure there are some people that haven't read it, but I mean, really, I mean, they purposely spoiled it. DC told the New York Times on Sunday the book wasn't even out until yesterday, so I don't know what the game was behind that.
Yeah, I
Like,
don't know either.
I really don't understand what they were thinking. But something similar happened in X-Men Gold number 30 too. Uh, we were supposed to get a wedding and then something else happened, and I don't want to spoil that because. But let's talk about things like because I can understand the anger. Like one of my co-hosts, Maddie, who's also on Omnibros Live, um, she was really upset, but she's also a newer reader, and I was trying to explain to her that these things just happen. Like you can't. Sometimes growth in comic books is very difficult when it comes to a character that has been around for 75 years.
Yeah.
Things just don't stay the same. And sometimes I wonder if editors are like, well, once they're married and have kids, what's the point? So that's where this topic came from, like characters that are together and how come some characters are still together and others are not?
And this will also enable me to go on a rant about New 52.
Ooh, okay. You had a problem with New 52.
I had a problem with New 52's no marriage policy, which was stupid. So
Oh,
yeah,
oh,
I
come
won't.
on. You know the reason they did that. And it was just for Batwoman. Like no marriage bullshit was just so they could say, okay, how do we softly let people down that wanted this gay marriage, right? Because it was supposed to be Batwoman that was supposed to get married. That's part of
Right.
that was the reason that is it J.H. Williams that left?
Yeah.
Because Rucka had gone before then. Yeah,
Right.
she was supposed to get married, and then DC told him no. So he was like, "All right, fuck it, then I'm out, whatever."
Well, they also
And then
broke up. They broke up Lois and Clark. Mira was not with Aquaman.
but Lois and Clark was from the get go, though. That was like a revamp. Uh,
Yeah.
and so I think a lot of the no marriage thing came from that. Like, hey, we don't want to be insensitive, so we'll just come up with some bullshit rule about no marriage. And thank God it only lasted 5 years anyway. So
Yeah, and now they're I haven't caught up on Batwoman. I don't know if she's married or not.
no,
I haven't been caught up. I just see her in Detective Comics, so I just know she's a badass in that. But now she could get married no problem and nobody cares.
maybe I don't know. Uh, I don't know if DC still has a no marriage policy or whatever they decided to do.
Well, Superman and Lois are happily married.
Are they?
I
Have you been reading Man of Steel yet?
have not.
Oh my God, Marco, Booster Gold and Blue Beetle, best comic couple ever. Yes, you are correct. Oh my God, I would love that. A Booster Gold and Blue Beetle, blue and gold, just like that Jeff Johns run that he had. But yeah, you have characters that for some reason have stayed together for many years. And when we'll go back to Marvel. We'll use the example of Mr. Fantastic and Invisible Woman. They got married back in the 60s, and they're still married and have kids.
Right.
So I wonder why that marriage hasn't been busted up like all these other marriages in the same universe. And of course, I'm talking about Peter Parker and Mary Jane. Like I feel like it's so weird. The excuse for one more day was, well, we want to tell more exciting stories about Peter Parker, and it's better to do it if he was single and young. And I remember thinking, like, asking Joe Quesada, because we had interviewed him like a couple months before that, because it was a huge secret what One More Day was going to be. Like, even though everybody knew it, because Bleeding Cool had broke the news, or Lying in the Gutters, whatever the hell it was called at the time, had broke the news as to that the Spider-Man marriage was ending, and that's what One More Day was going to be. So my question was, like, how do, like, young readers see this, like, that breaking up a marriage is okay, right? So the character can be cool again, and keeping characters together is not okay. So I wonder why they made that executive decision with Spider-Man and not Mr. Fantastic.
Now, has Sue had a thing going? Has Sue had a thing going with Namor or not?
Yeah, from time to time. I mean,
okay.
Well, honestly, I don't know if it's a thing, but
they're flirtatious at least.
Right. I think sometimes she just does it to make Reed jealous because he's spending way too much time with machines.
Well,
Philip Evans' marriage is so dull. Don't do it, kids. Great advice. Sage Philip Evans.
Reading Hickman's Fantastic Four that I have just been doing. He's practically a villain in it. He's such a jerk. He pays very little attention to her in the book. So I can see why she would be sick of him at some point. I'm not saying he's a villain, but I mean, he does do a lot of wacky stuff. And you're right, he spends a lot of time with his machines and not working on his marriage. I think he takes her for granted a lot in that issue. But
I mean, isn't that life though? I mean, isn't that marriage or relationships?
You mean why am I down here doing this show with you instead of
you should
spending
be up there
time with
your
my
lady.
wife?
I should be with my lady, but we're two grown-ass men talking about comic books. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's just life. It's part of relationships. You become accustomed to each other, and I'm not saying you grow apart, but you also have to be your own individual. It's part. Jesus, I feel like I'm giving fucking relationship advice.
Don't worry, I'm not listening.
You shouldn't to me. I'm a divorcee. What the hell do I know? But Mr. Fantastic has always had his things, and Sue knew what she was getting into before they got married. And just like he knew that she was all about fucking fish face before they got married. So there's that. So I wonder why editors sometimes choose to break couples apart and keep other couples, because you see, like, movies like The Incredibles 2, right, or Incredibles, they do so well at the box office, and it's a family oriented movie about a family that all has superpowers,
right?
So we know that there is a market out there for stories like this. And hell, you and I have been talked about and raved on about how great Superman is. Superman, by Tomasi. And Action.
Yeah.
But now that I haven't read issues 5 and 6, but I don't know if that status quo is going to change or not.
I haven't read it at all.
You haven't read any of Man of Steel yet?
No.
Okay.
Should I?
It's not bad. Actually, I've been enjoying it. Well, yeah, I know, it's fucking weird. Issue 1 was good, but issue 2 was a little dull, but 3 picked it back up, and 4 was enjoyable. I haven't read 5 and 6, so I don't know, I don't know where it's going. I don't know if it's, we're going to undo the marriage, or I don't know. So I don't know where it ends. But it's not bad. It's been pretty enjoyable so far.
Okay.
So Bendis. Yeah.
What about Winter Soldier and Black Widow? Are they a couple?
No, I don't think so. Not anymore.
But they were a couple.
Yes.
What broke them up?
The fact that she died, maybe, or he died first. I can't keep up. He died first, but then he came back in that Original Sin one shot, maybe. Oh no, he died in Original Sin, and then she died in Secret Wars. and now she's back in that Infinity crossover. Yeah, sometimes it's just stupid shit like that breaks couples up, right? Like like a crisis on Infinite Earths wipes everything clean.
Right.
So
This is how I'm asking my Marvel questions. I'm looking at my action figures and seeing who's a couple and who's not a couple. Like Black Bolt and Medusa, I see them right there. Thor and Jane Foster, and Thor and Sif.
Well, you have not been reading the Jason Aaron Thor run? Only hardcovers, right?
The hardcovers I have. Yeah, I haven't. I've just read up to the hardcovers.
Okay, so you're not current. So he's on the third arc of that storyline right now.
Okay, haven't read that.
Yeah, never mind. But you know that Jane Foster becomes Thor,
right?
And he is Odin's son right now. Well,
Correct.
where you are,
where I am, yeah.
As far as Medusa and Black Bolt, I think. Let me see. He died, but he came back. Man, death just puts a damper on your marriage.
It tends to do.
You come back and she's banging your best friend, and you're like, "What the fuck?" And she's like, "You were dead, dude." All right, you get this one. Let's see. No, they were together in the Royals, or she had something with Johnny Storm, maybe.
Yeah, she did have something with Johnny Storm, but then when I was reading Hickvengers, he had like 6 wives, and she was the main wife in Hickvengers.
So Mormon? They're Mormon? Thought they were
Inhuman Mormon.
Let's see. So you have that, and I feel like some of these characters will always stay single, like even if they try to marry them. Like somebody just brought up Iron Man, for example. I mean, can you imagine Tony Stark being married, settling down, having kids?
No.
I mean, it would make for interesting stories, I think, but I don't think Marvel or the editors or whoever's running it would ever let that happen. Let's see, who's another couple? Cyclops. So the original idea for Cyclops and Jean Grey, right? Or Cyclops and Madeline Pryor was for Chris Claremont wanting to retire the character of Cyclops. Marrying Madeline Pryor, who before this was just a chick that happened to look like his dead girlfriend, right? Before the Inferno saga, before Mr. Sinister and clones and stuff like that, it was just a chick that happened to look like his dead girlfriend. They got married in 175, and he was going to write off the character. But then Shooter came around, and was it Bob Layton? I can't remember who. A bunch of the editors and writers were like, okay, we're going to bring back the original Jean Grey. So we're going to bring back the original X-Men, and we're going to give them a new title, and it's going to be called X Factor. So they kind of undid that marriage by making Madeline Pryor evil, and then becoming a clone, becoming the Goblin Queen, and eventually dying. So then it was Scott and Jean together. And then Scott and Jean got married in issue 30 of X-Men, adjectiveless. But then he had an affair with Emma Frost, but they were still together. And then she died. And now she's back, but he's dead. Like I said, man, Cyclops.
Oh, he is?
Yeah, he died at that shitty, what was it, Death of X miniseries?
I didn't read that.
Yeah, you shouldn't. It was like the follow-up to it was the follow-up to the Inhumans X-Men crossover. The Inhumans versus X-Men. And that was it was a 4-issue miniseries. It was horrible. Started with like the death of Multiple Man, but guess what? He's back too. But yeah, it's like these things never work out with here. Nobody can it seems like nobody can have a happy ending, right? Nobody can have kids in a marriage that will last.
Except for Mr. Stretchy and Invisible Chick.
Except for Mr. Stretchy. Yes, Mr. Fantastic and Invisible Woman. But even they've had their ups and downs. And hell, their book got canceled for 5 years. So there's that. But yeah, I'm glad that they're still together. Okay,
Now,
somebody said Green Arrow and Black Canary.
yeah,
Now
I'm trying to
they
think. I know
they
they
were
have
they were married during the Winnick run of Green Arrow, but
right.
then New 52 came around and wiped the slate clean. And then that character, that was the Lemire run. Well, started with the Lemire run. And now Black Canary played a prominent role in the new Rebirth series, which I dug because it was like that first issue, they were like, I feel like this is what did they say? It wasn't deja vu, but she said, I feel like we've done this before. Like it was a feeling of deja
Mhm.
vu, like they belong together. So I thought that was really cool. Now, are they a couple in the new run? I stopped reading Rebirth Green Arrow, so I don't know.
And I read it at the beginning of the year, and of course, knowing my memory, I don't remember it, so I'd have to go back and look. But I feel like they got hot and heavy again.
Did they? Okay. Lloyd Wong was asking if Oliver Queen and Dinah have been married, and yes, they got married during Winnick's run. So it was like the last part of Winnick's run, right before New 52 started. And I really like them together too.
Yeah, they
Good,
seem pretty
good
natural.
couple.
Okay, so Cyclops is
Oh,
dead.
Luke Cage and Jessica Jones. Thank you, Chris M.
Oh yeah, that's a good one. They have kids, right?
They have one kid so
One
far.
kid.
Yes, yes, that's a good one. Thank you, Chris M. I knew I was forgetting a couple, but yeah, and then they're still together. Of course, that's still fresh though. They've only been together for what? Avengers Annual 2, so probably 10, 12 years, something like that. Give it time. Somebody will retcon it or ruin their marriage. What about Mr. Miracle and Big Barda? When you were reading DC, were they together?
When I read that run, it was 1974, so I have no idea.
You don't know if they were together or not?
They were together, but I can't tell you what they're doing now.
Well, now they're different characters altogether.
Yeah, they are. Um, I'm just looking at all my
Yeah, I
various
love.
action figures to see who's together and who's not.
So Sweet Exorcist is saying, what about Connor Kent and Cassie Sandsmark, the Wonder Girl? I love that couple. I love that annual where like she loses her virginity right before Infinite Crisis. So that's it's like one of my favorite Jeff Johns run. It's that Teen Titans run, but Connor doesn't even exist in the DC Rebirth universe. I feel like they don't. Well, at least for now, they don't need a Superboy because Superman himself has a kid. So Connor, that clone of Superman and Lex Luthor, is unfortunately done away with. Yeah, I mean, I really like that character too. Kind of wish they would bring him back. Okay, so Taylor Brown is saying Mr. Miracle and Big Bart are back to being a couple in the Tom King series.
Okay, good. I haven't read that yet. And for those of you who are wondering why Omar is either bothering to have me on tonight, I've been suffering from migraines all week, and I'm letting him handle the bulk of this. Not only because I feel awful, but he has the bulk of the knowledge of all comic books anyway.
What?
So
That's putting a
I'm
lot of pressure on me.
I'm just here to read the in stock trades commercial. I feel awful.
I feel like you know what? I feel like you should just pre-record that and we just play the segment throughout the show. Look, Jess is live. Oh, he's been dead for 5 years.
Yeah.
That way your legacy lives on, my friend.
That's right.
Let's see, Mr. Incredible and Last the Girl. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They have things like The Incredibles. Okay, so Connor's back. Oh, thank you. Came back in the Super Sons of Tomorrow crossover this year. I have not read that. I'm glad to hear that, though. Connor Kent should only be brought back as gay in Rebirth. Clark Nato. There was somebody else was asking. Hawkman and Hawkgirl. Yes, Lloyd Wong. They do seem to be a doomed couple. Probably because of their whole origin story being all fucked up anyway. Hawk Girl and Hawk Man. Man, that was but I do have to say though, during Blackest Night, that was one of the roughest death scenes.
Yeah.
Was the death of Hawk Girl and Hawkman. That was rough to read. It was well done and well drawn. I think
Mm-hmm.
it was Ivan Reyes that drew that part. If I am not mistaken. Am I forgetting a couple? Yes, I'm just
How
including
about
couples that are married.
how
So I
about
was going to say Hulkling.
Storm and Black Panther?
Well, they're divorced, right? They're not together anymore.
What? I thought they were married.
I don't think they're together anymore. No. She
I'm
should
gonna
have ended
have
up
to-
with Forge anyway, so it doesn't matter. I'm not that mad about that.
I
one.
need to split up some of my action figure couples.
Is that what you're doing?
No, I'm not. I'm just looking around the room saying, "Oh, Gamora and Star-Lord."
Are you playing with your toys?
Oh, I do play with my toys. That is for sure.
You big nerd. All I see is the scene from Spaceballs. Oh, your helmet is so big, Jess. Your wife just stormed in.
I don't know. Are Barry and Iris married?
Okay, wait. In the New 52, they were not married. Oh, damn it. And then Wally West, yeah, he was married and had twins. And I think now that's all gone, of course. Him and Linda are no longer a couple.
Right.
Or no longer married. I don't know if they're married or not in Rebirth. I can't remember. I want to say they're not married, but I could be wrong. Anybody out there know? Okay. So Laura and Wally are not married, and in Rebirth they are not married either.
Yeah, they barely.
Iris.
As I recall in Rebirth, they barely even talk about Iris. Yeah, we talked about Black Bolt and Medusa, and we can't seem to decide if they're together again yet or not. Where were they in the Royals miniseries?
They were together, but like I said, she was also fooling around with, was it one of the Inhumans and Johnny Storm? Oh yeah, Johnny Storm got married to what's her name? The Skrull, who was supposed to be Alicia Masters, but then it was revealed that she was a Skrull. Elijah, and God knows what happened to her. I don't think they even did. They bring her up in Secret Invasion, which would have been the perfect time to bring her up. I feel like I'm asking the wrong person. You read that? No, you read that. You read Secret Invasion Fantastic Four. That was part of the Fantastic Four Hickman run.
Right.
Did Elijah showed up? His wife, his Skrull wife.
I don't remember.
Okay, you read that like last week, Jess.
I did read it last week. There's a lot in that book.
My friend, you're a sponge.
And I've been ringed out today. I've been ringed out of all knowledge.
It's okay. You got a migraine, man. I'm so sorry. I won't ask any hard questions again, like what you read last week. Skrull booty is the best booty. I agree with Clark Nada. Endless possibilities, man. You can be with a different person each night.
Now, Deadpool did marry Death.
I think they're still. I don't know. I haven't kept up with
the Queen of the Vampires, right? She was a vampire, right?
I think so.
Or was she the embodiment of death too?
No, the embodiment of death has always had a thing for Deadpool, which has always bothered Thanos, which has always bothered like people that take comic books way too seriously, because that's so ridiculous. I think it all started with Deadpool Annual 97. That's where it all started. It was a Daredevil Deadpool Annual is where she had a fascination with Deadpool.
The embodiment of death that Thanos has a crush on?
Yeah, that bony chick.
Okay, because in Deadpool, he marries, what's her name, Queen of the Vampires, and she takes him to hell a couple times to...
in Deadpool 200 or whatever that issue was?
Whatever the most recent Deadpools were, Dracula's Gauntlet, I can't think of her name, but she marries Deadpool and finds out he has a secret kid somewhere.
I want to say that by this point, I think you've read more Deadpool than I have, because you've read all the shitty Deadpool that I have not.
Oh, good heavens. I've read a bunch of great Deadpool.
Sure. Okay. Maybe that's the migraine talking. So I'll let that slide. You read the Daniel Waypool.
I have not. I
Oh, yeah.
have not.
Okay. For some reason, I thought you had. So you've just
No,
read
no,
the
no.
mini Omnis and the Omnis and things like that.
I've read the Cullen Bunn stuff. I've read the
Ha.
Deadpool minibus and the Cullen Bunn run.
Okay. I think it was Voodoo and Grifter, Jeff. If Gabe was here, he could tell us. But Mockingbird and Hawkeye, they were married. She died. And then Bendis retconned that during Secret Invasion and said, oh, she was just a Skrull, even though she didn't turn into a Skrull when she died. But hey, whatever. Who's keeping count? This guy. And then they are no longer together, though. They're not a couple anymore. I don't think. Even like, I know during the Matt Fraction run, they were not a couple because he was still fooling around with Natasha. But that, again, goes because she died, right? So that could be the loophole. Hey, you were dead, baby. I'm a man. I got needs. He was also dead, too.
Clark Nada said just is right. He's talking about the Posehn and Dugan run. So he did marry the Queen of the Vampires in that. Hey, Justin, a side note, what were your thoughts on Bunn's run? I liked it fine, but I didn't think it was as good as Posehn and Dugan's run.
That's the big omnibus, right?
The Posehn and Duggan?
Yes.
That's the one with the binding issues. Yeah, I have them in oversized hardcovers. And then the Bunn stuff tends to be in the minibuses.
Okay. Yorick and Ampersand. Yes, Tyler. I completely agree.
And for Kenny, I never saw the Smallville TV series. Did you watch that, Omar?
I saw that's funny. We just talked about that yesterday on my show. I saw the first 3 seasons. And I saw the final episode, and then I also saw the episodes written by Jeff Johns. But that was about it.
And did you see Lois and Clark become a couple in the Smallville TV series?
No, I think by season 3 he was still fooling around with what's her face,
Lana,
the human trafficker.
the human trafficker. I never saw it. Who is that?
Isn't that what? No. She's not the human trafficker. I'm so sorry. One of the actresses is being accused of human trafficking. Was it Allison Mack? But she didn't.
I thought she was accusing someone of human trafficking.
No, she's being accused of.
Oh, she is.
Yeah, and it's not the girl. She didn't play Lana. I'm sorry. She played his friend. I cannot remember. It's been years since I've seen that show. I'm sure Kenny can tell us.
Okay. They got together near the end of Smallville. Okay.
Yeah.
That's right. Okay, you're right about the sex trafficker thing. She was in some sex cult.
Allison Mack, but who does she play? That's what I'm trying to remember. Chloe, that's it. Yes, thank you, Kenny. Oh, and Iron Cardinal said it earlier too. I just read that. Yeah, so I didn't make it that far. I did not make it that far, and because I kind of was to me, Smallville was one of those shows that was like, well, what's the point? Kind of know where this is going. Man, it lasted 10 years, so people watched the shit out of it. Apparently, just like I'm sure people are watching the crap out of Gotham, and I don't. I couldn't get into that show. Biggie Cheese said Daredevil and Elektra. Oh wait, Daredevil and Karen Page. Oh wait, Daredevil's never happy. Can't give characters happiness, man. So I think right now we're down to 1, right? Or 2. Luke Cage and Jessica Jones. Mr. Fantastic and Sue Storm.
Well,
Superman and Lois Lane.
Yeah.
Are Apollo and Midnight are still together?
I think so. I don't know that they're married, but I think they're still a couple.
Okay, we'll count that too then. As long as they're happy.
Yeah, right.
North Star and his dude, they're still together, I think.
And now, what about Rogue and Gambit? Have they gotten married?
Spoilers.
I wouldn't know about it if it wasn't already out there.
Okay. I didn't. Okay. So X-Men X-Men Gold number 30 was supposed to be the big wedding issue for Colossus and Kitty Pryde. And to me, this is my opinion, out of nowhere, they decided to get Rogue and Gambit hitched. And to me, it just felt like it came out of nowhere because like nothing has been leading up to this. Maybe that 4-issue miniseries with Gambit and Rogue, but that's about it. Because they've been off and on, not quite as long as Colossus and Kitty Pryde. And Colossus and Kitty Pryde have been together a lot longer. And then, of course, you know, in I guess cute Gambit style, he steals the wedding from Kitty Pryde and marries Rogue. So that's what the new Mr. and Mrs. X ongoing series is going to be about. The adventures of marriage, adventures in being married with Gambit and Rogue. That's what that's about.
Okay.
So yes, somebody to get married. So
Daniel Arsenault, right? That's how I know because Gabe told me that Monday night. Like I remember anything from Monday night.
Man, you were fucked up.
Oh, that was the beginning of my migraine that day. Ay. I can't take it. Okay, so I'm looking around my room, and we got Charlie Brown and the little redheaded girl. They never got together.
Okay, so Apollo and Midnighter are still together.
Oh, what about Vision and Scarlet Witch? What's their current status?
He
was
married in Tom King's run.
Right, to Mrs. Vision.
And she's always, you know, the whole story about that, right? Like, it's so complicated. Like, I remember, man, this is such a fun drunk conversation, but like talking to people about comic books that don't read comic books is so fun when you're drinking. But the whole thing started with her being in love with, what's his name? Simon, right? Wonder Man. So when he died, like, it was like part of his essence went into the Vision. So that's why she's always had this attraction to the Vision.
Okay.
So when Simon came back, it was like, oh shit, what do I do? There's the guy that I really liked, and this is the robot counterpart. Oh, and to answer your question, I don't think they're together anymore. Or at least nobody has acknowledged that they're together as far as writers on the books. Vision. Okay. Now, Avengers is on issue 3 right now, and I don't think anybody acknowledged it in the No Surrender run.
I have that book right here.
Yeah, which, is it still sealed?
Of course, I just got
it. Kidding. But yeah, I don't think during that run they acknowledged the fact that they were married. Maybe on a off note, like one panel. So, Hulkling and Wiccan, they're still together. So, there are some couples. Best Omnibro couple.
Oh, right here, buddy.
That's all you need. Got the brains and the brawn.
Yeah, I ain't got no brains.
Which?
I ain't got the brains, that's for sure.
I don't know which is which. Sometimes. I give you a run for your money when I'm drinking, though.
Yeah, but at least you're amusing.
The Tick and Justice. Didn't Magneto hook up with Rogue at some point? Yeah, it was one of those, when was that? Uncanny X-Men 274. It was the Savage Land issue. She's the one looking all sexy, half naked on the cover, touching Magneto's big ass chest. And you're like, damn, Magneto got all sexy and he's old, like Professor X old. But like, they hinted that they had a romance because by the time when he came back in X-Men 1, yeah, when he attacked them in X-Men 1, she mentioned it, so something did happen. And then, of course, Age of Apocalypse, they were married and they had a kid. Because he's actually the one of the few mutants that can touch her because of his magnetic field in comic book science.
Right. Speaking of comic book science, how is Gambit able to touch her?
He got with Mr. Stretchy and then gave him a synthetic rubber. I don't think he can. No, the only way they could do that, I guess, if she learns to control her powers, which she was able to for a little while, right before Extreme X-Men. But once again, when a new writer comes on board, they were like, we'll just ignore that and do our own thing with Rogue.
You are just a fount of information. I'm just throwing stuff at you, and you know left and right.
That's because you're high. Ask me anything. I'll bullshit my answers.
Clarknado brings up a good point. Buddy Baker, Animal Man, has been married the whole time. Yes. They have not broken him up at all.
Although he had it rough during Grant Morrison's run, remember?
Yeah.
Like, but you've read it, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So, I mean, hell, the story is over 30 years old. So, yeah, when his whole family gets killed and he has to approach the maker, Grant Morrison.
Right.
Why did you kill my family, man? That was messed up. I love that. I love Grant Morrison's run on Animal Man. It's years ahead of its time, I thought.
Oh, yeah. No question. That makes me want to read it again.
It's a good run. Oh, yeah, Cloak and Dagger. Maybe. Are they still together? God, that show sucked. Did you watch any of that?
No, it's not good.
No, it's great, man.
No, come on.
I didn't dig it, dude. I was, I think I got to episode 4 and I'm like, all right, well, that's enough of that. But I also didn't finish Runaways, and people seem to dig that. I think I stopped at Runaways episode 6.
I never finished The Gifted.
Yeah, I stopped that too. Even though, what's her name? Super hot. The girl that plays Polaris.
It's full of nothing but pretty people who just whined. Everybody was whining in that show. Wah, wah.
Oh, they're supposed to be teenagers, right?
No, but even the adults were whining at each other. Everybody was whining. I had to turn it off. It was way too whiny.
Kyle Rayner in the fridge. No, that's Alexa DeWitt in the fridge. Ouch. It's the women on refrigerators joke.
I get the joke.
You got it? Yep. Okay.
Got it.
Didn't know if I needed to explain it or not.
Nope, I get it. Good pull.
Captain Marvel and Iron Man? Are they together? I didn't know that. Thought he was dead for a while. And he just came back right before the Avengers run. Like during Bendis's run, wasn't he in a coma or something? I'm asking the wrong person.
Oh, if you're asking me, I thought you were asking the chat. Somebody that knows.
Maybe somebody in the chat that read Bendis's run. Yeah, isn't that why he made Ironheart? And then, like, the last issue, he came back. He's like, hey, I'm okay.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
So Nightwing and Starfire were together during Teen Titans. And then I don't remember what happened. They broke up. Donna Troy got married, but that got retconned when her husband died, and then the whole Donna Troy thing's a giant headache anyway. Nightwing and I remember, yeah, Nightwing asked Barbara Gordon to marry him right before New 52. Towards the end of was it Devin Grayson's run? Somebody's run. Like, he asked her to marry him, and she said no. Yeah. So I wanted them to end together, because this was Oracle Barbara Gordon, not Batgirl. So, she was in a wheelchair. So it was really, like, that was one of the reasons why she said she couldn't. That was really sweet. Okay, so Captain Marvel beat Iron Man into a coma, but I think it was a sign of her love for him. Sure. I believe that. She was with Rhodey. Okay. Babs married Tim Drake in someone's run. I don't think she married Tim Drake. Captain America and all the Carters. Yeah, he's banging like the granny and then the granddaughter. Can you imagine that? That's an awkward family reunion. Go Cap. Let me see. Where are we with Hulk these days? Is Betty back? Betty came back during Jeff Loeb's horrible Red Hulk run. But I don't think her and Bruce are together. I'm just looking at my comics. Yeah, we've already talked about Spider-Man. Norman Osborn and Gwen Stacy. One of the worst mistakes that JMS did on his run of Spider-Man. Yeah.
Abby Holland and Swamp Thing. That's a good one.
Yeah. Are they together still?
They were together at one point. I can't remember the last Swamp Thing I read, what happened in it. The last Swamp Thing I read was probably Snyder's Swamp Thing, and I don't remember what happened in it. If she
That
was
was a
in it
good.
or not.
I like that run. That was a good run. That was a New 52 run, wasn't it?
Yes.
Where they made him part of the DC universe
Mm-hmm.
instead of, you know, like so he is still part of. Yes, he is. He is still part of the DC universe, not Vertigo anymore. So looking through here, man, it's looking like a lot of heroes are gonna die alone. Too angsty to get married.
Superman and Wonder Woman in New 52 had a thing going that was fun.
Yeah.
I liked that.
Okay, the website Vulture did a ranking of MCU romances worst to best. Highly recommend checking that out. Thank you, Biggie Cheese. I sure will. Okay, yeah. If we're not talking about superheroes, Clark Nato, that's a good one. Jesse Custer and Tulip. I love that romance. I love that ending of that book. That's Preacher. I don't know if you're still with us, Jess.
I was concentrating on Lightning Lad and Saturn Girl from Legion of Superheroes back in the olden days.
Oh, did you used to write your own smut fanfic material?
No, back in the Silver Age.
Should throw a little Pharaoh lad in there.
Don't diss the death of Pharaoh Lad. That made me tear up as a child.
Yeah. Yeah. Superman and Wonder Woman have a thing, and The Dark Knight Strikes Again. Oh, Biggie Cheese. I did not finish that book.
That was a hard book to finish.
Did not. I think I read 2 issues, and I'm like, you know what? DC paid Frank. How much was it? Was it $2 million to come out of retirement to do that book?
Is that right?
It was ridiculous. I want to say it was 2 million. It was either $1 million or 2 million. However much it was ridiculous to do a sequel to The Dark Knight Returns. And ooh, man, those first 2 issues were rough. And I'm like, this guy's just getting a paycheck, or this is not the same Frank Miller that I
No.
remembered. Mystique got down with Destiny. Michael Curry's asking. That was her girl. They were together for a long time, and then Destiny got killed by Legion, and that was Uncanny X-Men 255, I think. And yeah, it was a really sad moment. Like Peter David wrote this funeral scene during an X Factor annual where she takes Destiny's ashes and scatters them into the ocean, and then the ashes come flying back in her face.
Like in Big Lebowski?
Yeah. Before Big Lebowski.
Maybe they based it on that.
Maybe. Top the Fourth on YouTube. Wall did a hilarious rant on DK Strikes Again. Top the Fourth Wall. I think I've seen some of their stuff. Could you imagine Superman and Wonder Woman hate banging? They would do more damage to Metropolis than Soups. I remember that it was Joe Kelly's run on Superman, and where Superman and Wonder Woman get trapped into this time, like it's another dimension, right? But they had spent like 1 million years there, and she comes on to him, and she was like, "No," or he was like, "No, Lois, I can't do this. You know, I love Lois. She's the only one for me." And I'm like, "Dude, you've been away from your chick for 1 million years. What the hell's wrong with you? Wonder Woman's throwing herself at you." Man of Steel, my ass. Night Owl, Miss Jupiter. Batman and the Joker. Did you see Lego Batman 2?
I did not.
There was a funny line in there where he talks about how this is not a ship. This is as in relationship. I thought it was a funny movie. I watched it with my kids, and there were things that were making me laugh. Yeah, I was gonna mention Ralph and Sue before that shitty identity crisis, but I guess they don't count because they're both dead. Wait, are they still dead?
Are they dead?
Because they came back in 52 as like ghost detectives. But has anybody brought them physically back? I guess it would have been the perfect time to do it during New 52 and Rebirth. Yeah, I guess Spoiler and Tim Drake are still together. Doc Ock and May Parker. Doc Ock and Aunt May. Knocking the boots. Creepy. That was one of my favorite scenes in Superior Spider-Man. Did you ever read that run?
No, I haven't got to it yet. I think that's one thing I want to get to. I have very little Spidey in my diet. I have a ton of it, and I just haven't got to it yet, but I've heard it's just amazing.
No pun intended. Superior has some funny moments because you know the premise, right? Like it's
Right.
Doc Ock. He's
I
taking
do know that.
Peter Parker's body, but Peter Parker's still a part of his mind. And they share memories. And one of the memories is Doc Ock and Doc Ock and Aunt May knocking boots. And Peter Parker's like, "No, please, God, don't make me see this." Quite awesome.
Janet Van Dyne and what's his name, Hank Pym. Is that? Yeah, we talked about Aquaman and Mera.
Yeah, they're not together anymore. I don't think because after New 52, right? Then they.
Yeah, now she's in Rebirth. Now they're engaged, but the prophecy says that she's going to tear the kingdom apart if she marries him. So currently, she's worried about marrying him. That's where it is.
That's where we are, huh?
Yeah, that's where we are right now in Rebirth.
Okay, so we have a handful of couples that are still together. The ones that have, I would say, I guess Mr. Fantastic and Sue Storm are the oldest couple.
Yeah.
They're still married, have kids. Of course, I could be wrong as soon as Fantastic Four #1 comes out by Dan Slott, and he's like, okay, no more marriage. Mr. Fantastic no longer has those gray sideburns. Kind of like the way they got rid of Hal Jordan's when he came back in Rebirth.
Right.
We like our heroes young.
So, yeah, we declare the winner to be Mr. Fantastic and the Invisible Woman. They seem to be the only ones that the editors can't tear apart.
Now, this is normally the part of the show where we do a little interaction with the chat. But my co-host Jess is not feeling.
No, I'm okay. I'm okay for like 10 more minutes if the chat wants to ask any questions of you. You seem to be the one with any of the knowledge anyway.
Is that Jess minutes or normal minutes? Jess minutes seem to be going like for each minute you get 8 minutes.
This will be 10 minutes or until I pass out, whichever comes first.
Nick is in the chat.
Superman and Lois are still together as of right now in Rebirth, except that Omar was intimating that something might be happening in Bendis's run.
Something happened, but I haven't gotten that far yet. I'm only in issue 4. It just wrapped up literally. It wrapped up like this week with issue 6, and I think the 2 ongoing start soon. So as of right now, he's still married with a kid. Yes, I did. I got the Torpedo collection. Ms. Carmul, oh man, I'm so butchering that name, is asking what books I picked up. I got a book called Elfos, and then I got the Osamu Tezuka anthology, which is a huge book of just Tezuka manga.
But you didn't find me my vinyl.
Shh, you go to hell.
I'm typing furiously in the computer. Omar, it's a joke. Don't go in there. I was kidding.
You're an asshole. I'm like, I don't speak French. And I'm asking, what was it?
Ovulation window.
They thought I was talking about Pussy Riot. Let's see.
I am not going to grab the Flashpoint Absolute. I have the entire run bound, custom bound, so I'm going to stick with that.
I am going to wait until they announce the omnibus, which is a no-brainer. No, like it's bound to happen. Kenny, the Superman Peace on Earth and Batman War on Crime, those were collected in an absolute edition. What was it called, Jess? It was Alex Ross's. Was it Justice League something? Like he wrote and drew like an Aquaman story, a Captain Marvel story. What is that called?
Superheroes?
That's it. Yeah, those are collected in there. Those are awesome. I really like that.
Yeah, those were great.
One shots, and I'm a huge fan of Alex Ross's artwork anyway. But yeah, those are all one shots, and they're all collected in that absolute. I think that absolute had 2 printings, if I'm not mistaken.
You are correct. I have the first one, which was like $45.
But this just had Jean Grey turn Superman gay. It's not a big deal, people. Calm down. Let's see. Any more guests? Do we have any more guests coming up on the show? Taylor Brown loves the interviews. We're currently working on some. We're gonna leave it up to Gabe. He's got to whore himself around. He's going to San Diego Comic-Con. Gay soups would be amazing. Jess is the real MVP.
Woohoo!
Omar, did you find any work yet? I am. I'm working on something. Just myself with a friend of mine. We're trying to do some things independently. So we'll see how that goes for a little while, and then if that doesn't work out, I'll jump back on the ball. Luckily, I was always pretty good with like saving and things like that, and numbers. So we're okay, my wife and I. But eventually, I guess this thing called insurance needed.
Yeah.
Jess knows all about that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I did want to talk about, Lloyd Wong asked a question that I really wanted to talk about. Maybe we could talk about it next week. It's the DC 100 page spectaculars that are exclusive to Walmart.
Oh, yeah.
So King is doing a Superman story, and then Bendis is doing a story. I think it's a wonderful idea, but I wanted to see what the rest of the OmniBros thought. I know there are some people that are upset about it, but you come from a generation that always had reprints like that, like 80-page giants and things like that, right?
Yeah, I'm used to reprints like that. 100-page super spectacular. That's where I got introduced to the golden age of comics, where they throw in, a new story and then tons of like the Vigilante and the original Sandman and stuff like that. Jack Kirby Sandman. It was really cool.
Let's see. What Image Deluxes are you hoping get announced soon? I'm hoping for Saga Volume 3.
Me too. I'd like to see more Paper Girls.
I'd like to see another Manhattan project, but I don't think they have enough for a hardcover. Paper Girls, haven't they announced a Volume 2? Or am I thinking of something else?
They may not have enough issues for a Volume 2 now that I think about it.
Oh, no, they totally do. They're up to...
Oh, do they?
Yeah, they're up to issue 27 of Paper Girls.
Oh, well, shit.
It's like issue 10 is collected in there.
Well, then what's holding them up?
Money. Like, they like money, so they're going to release it in 10-issue increments, which is stupid.
Well, I'm fine if they just put out another one soon.
Yeah, I'm hoping for... Well, they've already announced a Deadly Class. We know we're getting that.
Okay, early next year for Paper Girls Deluxe 2.
That's what I thought. Thought they had announced it. Todd McFarlane I know this is going to sound stupid because I always make fun of Spawn, but Todd McFarlane, thank you, Kill or Be Killed. That was the other one I'm excited for, which we know that's coming. I mean, there's no way they're not going to. Everything else has been released in oversized hardcover. But Todd McFarlane said that because of the Spawn movie and some kind of anniversary, they're going to start doing something else, because people have asked if they're going to do any more of the classic collections, which is the hardcovers. They've only done 10 of that collect all the way to like issue 120 something. Okay, I'm sorry. Paper Girls is only on issue 22. I thought it was 27. See, I don't know everything. So I'm excited to see where the Spawn stuff goes. I hope they do they keep collecting those, because those hardcovers are really good. I hate the story, but I love the artwork. He wants to read more. John the Uncanny wants to read more Flash suggestions.
What have you read?
You cannot go wrong with Mark Waid or Jeff Johns, whether you've read them or not. It doesn't matter. Go reread them; they're both wonderful.
I agree with that.
Mark Waid first, and then Jeff Johns. You will be completely satisfied. Didn't Scotty Young wrap up I Hate Fairyland this week? Maybe he did because he's working on another book, isn't he?
Yeah, and he's doing a new Marvel book.
Deadpool? Is he doing Deadpool?
You know what? I can't remember now. It sounded perfect, whatever he was writing.
I think it's Deadpool. I want to say it's Deadpool. Would you guys like if Marvel pulls a New 52 and reboots their universe from scratch? Sometimes I think that would be the easiest way to fix things. Other times, I don't know. They seem to have done many reboots, like with Spider-Man. Maybe they were just testing the waters.
Marco 808, I am a fan of Silver Age JLA and Jeff Johns JLA. I like Jeff Johns JLA.
What is your favorite JLA run? Tower of Babel by Mark Waid.
Mm-hmm.
That Morrison run is solid, but I'm also a fan of the Obsidian Age by Kelly. Was that Kelly? Yeah. That was an awesome run. And a huge fan of the Injustice League by Dwayne McDuffie. That's an amazing run of Justice League. Yeah, Snyder's take is really good. I've been digging it too.
I haven't read it yet.
It's good. And I'm with you, Connor. I wish Mark Waid's Flash would get an omnibus. We're getting an Impulse omnibus. How does that even make any sense? Impulse is the spin-off book. Sometimes I don't know what the hell is going on with DC collecting editorial.
I want to get into all new, all different Marvel. Where would be a good starting point? He's asked you.
He's asked me?
Well, I'm asking you because I don't know the answer to that.
All new, all different Marvel? Isn't that the era that it was like Bendis doing all new X-Men? Or is he talking about now? Like Marvel now?
I think he's talking about all new, all different. Yeah.
You cannot go wrong with all new Wolverine. I love that series, and Jess also likes it.
Oh, is that the current? Are we talking about the current stuff then?
Yeah.
Oh.
All new, all different, right? That is all new, all different as it comes. It's a female version of Logan. So,
oh my gosh, I love that comic book.
It's a wonderful run.
It is fantastic.
Avengers has been good. I think Avengers No Surrender was a damn good story. A fun Avengers story, the way that I like my Avengers written. Spider-Man was pretty fun during Dan Slott's run. But I think it peaked at like Superior Spider-Man. That was the peak of the Dan Slott run. All right, we've lost Jess.
No, I'm right here. I was looking at some of my
passed out.
I'm looking at some of my books to see if I can recommend some more Marvel books that I've read.
So it's after Secret Wars.
Well, I loved Mockingbird, even though it was only 2 issues.
4 issues, right?
6 issues or whatever it was. I loved Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur. I love Scarlet Witch.
You like Gwenpool and what's the other one that I make fun of you? Gwenpool and Spider-Gwen.
Spider-Gwen, Spider-Woman, Unbelievable Gwenpool, Silk. I love those.
I wish I could recommend X-Men titles, but the only one that is just all new Wolverine. Because I have no.
Awesome.
Oh, Guardians of the Galaxy, solid. What's his name's run? Post Bendis, that was a good run.
I haven't read that one yet.
That's getting an omnibus, and it's only $75, and that leads up to the Infinity crossover that's going on right now. Thor is really good.
Thor is great. The current Hawkeye is great with what's her name? What's her name?
Oh,
Kate Bishop.
Kate Bishop. Yeah.
Hawkeye is really good.
Woot! Gwen becomes a tree. Yeah, I'm sure they have ran out of ideas. Vision is great. Thank you. That's a good choice too. Only Wolverine is the perfect number, the perfect issues for an omnibus. Not saying it's going to happen, but saying it should happen.
I would upgrade to that.
Yeah, it's a good run. And it's a good, from beginning to ending, like, it's all that's all you need to read. You don't really
Ms.
need to know.
Marvel is also great.
Is it?
I love Ms. Marvel.
Oh, Kamala. Yes, that is a great run. But that was pre-Crisis or pre-Secret Wars, but it's still going.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's
That's
right. That's right. You're right.
my daughter read that. Who's 8 years old at the time. Read it in one day. She loved it,
Yeah, I bet she did.
and now she's going through Ultimate Spider-Man. Um, but yeah, those are the ones I recommend. Um, the Amadeus Cho, Awesome Hulk. That was totally Awesome Hulk. That was okay. That was okay. So, any more questions from the chat you want to grab there, Jess?
Just to answer Taylor Brown, the reason I haven't posted any reviews is because I'm going through my Hickvengers, my Hickman readathon, and I was going to post a big, but I have been reading things in between all those Hickman.
Shit, that's our next reading assignment for our old reader, new reader. When are you finishing that up?
Which one?
Hickvengers.
I finished it this week.
Oh, you already finished it? Okay.
I did, yeah.
We were gonna do you can still do your review episode, but we're doing a live episode on the 24th.
I'm actually going to wait to do. I'm going to do a review of all the books I've read in between, but then at the end of the summer, I'm going to do a big review of all of Hickman's Omnis that I've read, the whole thing, the whole read through. But then I'm going to do some reviews of the stuff
as you've been reading them.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially since you can't remember what you just read last week. That might not be a bad idea.
Correct.
Can I introduce you to these things called Post-it notes?
Maybe. Yeah, I do. I definitely do need to do that. I should be writing things down from Secret Warriors on because I'm going to have to go back and review them anyway.
Yeah, they're pretty big. So did you wrap up Secret Wars then? Or have you not read that yet?
No, I have to read Avengers 2. Then I have to read the next S.H.I.E.L.D. book, and then I can read Secret Wars.
Cool. Well, if you're done by the 24th with Avengers 2, you're more than welcome to join us.
Okay.
For a live talk about Avengers, because this is huge chunks, and we're doing taking 3 weeks to read it. Because the second omnibus just dropped, which I'm surprised they let the first omnibus go out of print like that. That's crazy. Yeah,
I never understand that. 3 of the books that I have are out of print of his omnibuses. And to answer your question, Lloyd Wong, I finished Avengers 1 by Hickman omnibus, and I'm just waiting for Avengers 2 to come in next week, and I'll start it back up then. So I'm all caught up. I read all his Ultimate Comics, S.H.I.E.L.D., Fantastic Four, Secret Warriors. I've read it all.
Hey, you're almost done.
I am. Yeah, I'm on the back half of it.
How much shit did you guys order this week? Michael Curry, my man. Man, it's probably the same as Jess. The Black Glove stuff, the Grant Morrison, Avengers Volume 2 by Hickman. I went ahead and got Invincible Volume 12. I don't think
that earlier.
That came out 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
What was the other books I got? The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles IDW Volume 7. And there was another book I got that I can just look at. What did you get, Jess?
I'll have to look. Just a sec.
I know you definitely got Hickvengers Volume 2, right?
Yeah, I definitely did.
And Batman Morrison?
Yep, I got that. But I feel like I got some other stuff, too. I know I got Peter David.
Wait, Supergirl Volume 4 was the other one that I got, too.
Yeah.
By Peter David. And I think that's it.
Nah, I kind of went all out crazy.
Oh, did you?
I got the Doctor Strange Sorcerer Supreme Omnibus. Got the Harley Quinn Rebirth Deluxe Collection number 2. Let's see. Star Wars hardcover volume 3. Let me go to my count.
So you're not waiting for the omnibus. You're getting those Star Wars books as they come out.
Yeah. Let's see. I got Avengers, Batman, Doctor Strange, Harley Quinn, Jetsons trade paperback, Star Wars hardcover 3, Thanos trade paperback volume 2, God Quarry, and Supergirl Peter David book
Volume 4.
volume 4.
Man, we only need like 3 more, and they can finish off that Peter David run.
Yeah.
But nothing's been announced yet, so I'm hoping the sales of these books are good enough for them to keep going. Come on, damn it, DC. Don't screw me over again.
Kemi Jacob, I'm saving Sidekick for the huge Omnibros Live discount when it comes in. But I will be getting Sidekick then.
Superman Grounded. That was JMS, wasn't it, Lloyd? Didn't he write that? It was the one where Superman like kind of hangs up his cape and walks around America.
Yeah,
did you ever read that run?
I did. I loved it.
I did too. Unfortunately, I don't think he got to finish this run. Like somebody else finished it for him. I don't know if he got mad at DC or maybe he had heard that, hey, we're rebooting everything, so none of this shit's gonna matter anyway, because that was right before New 52.
Right.
So, yeah, I don't. That was a good run. That was a great run, and I'm kind of upset that he didn't get it to finish it the way that he wanted it to. Yeah, episode 9 will probably be when the first Jason Aaron omnibus will come out. Kenny's right. That's what I'm thinking too.
I'm okay with oversized hardcovers. If
you say that now until all your cool friends are getting the omnibus, and you're like, well, I'm not gonna let them outdo me.
No, I'm okay with oversized hardcovers. If it's trade paperbacks that all of a sudden get an omnibus, then yeah, like all new Wolverine, I'd be way on top of that.
Yeah, same.
Well, dude, I hate to do this to you, but I'm about ready to fall asleep.
Okay, man. I'm sorry I have bored you.
That has nothing to do with you.
No, get some rest, my friend. Well, why don't you sign us off with our official sponsors, and then we call it a night. Thank you, everybody, for joining us on this wonderful Thursday evening. We will be back maybe with a surprise episode this weekend, and then definitely back on Monday.
Nice. Yeah. Good surprise episode idea.
Yeah, I was surprised. You don't know about it yet, but
I don't know about it. If it is a surprise episode, it'll be sponsored by InStockTrades.com, where you can get up to 50% off your collected editions. Loyalty discounts add an extra 2 to 3% on that. Over $50 in orders gets you free shipping in the United States. Omnibroslive discount coming up. Fabulous packaging, fabulous customer service. That's InStockTrades.com.
Well done, man. Well done. It's good to be back, and it's always a pleasure being with you on the show.
It's great having you back, my friend. Always great.
Thank you, and thank you again, everybody. You all have a great night.
Peace and love, everybody. Peace and love.